Review for Hard Times. Directed by Walter Hill, Bronson, James Coburn, Jill Ireland. This is his first movie, Walter Hill. This is 1975. Starring Charles Bronson. He is a drifter. I don't know, maybe homeless. I don't think he's home. Well, he's a drifter. I mean, he doesn't have a home, so. But it's during the Depression, 1933. It's hard. That's why it's called Hard Times. And he is starts off in another city besides New Orleans. Most of it's in New Orleans, and it's like a port city. And he is the very first scene is him getting off of a train. He's kind of hitching a ride, you know, and he jumps off the train. He goes to a diner. He gets a cup of coffee. I think that's when he sees Jill Ireland. Oh wait, no, he meets her in New Orleans. But he notices a bunch of guys are going like behind a factory and there's some noise. So he goes behind there. These guys are betting money on fights, illegal fights. And James Colburn's there, and he's one of the managers, I guess you'd call it, of a fighter. Or, you know, he's kind of running the thing with this other guy. And Bronson, I think he fights in this fight. Maybe he doesn't fight in this one. I think he comes back like the next day, and he challenges James Colburn's guy to a fight, who's really good, who I think's undefeated, and he just totally just whips him, just destroys him, beats him. They don't like kill each other. One of the rules is when the guy's on the ground, you don't kick him when he's on the ground. You don't hit him when he's on the ground. So, you know, it's somewhat some rules. Like the guy's on the ground, he could like get a second wind, come back up, fight more. So, you know, but yeah, he totally beats him. He wins some money, and then James Coburn's like, "Oh wow, you're you know, a really good fighter." And then, as far as I remember, then he said he and James Coburn, I think they maybe do one more fight, and then they go to New Orleans, where James Coburn, that's where his wife is, his house. He, you know, that's his city. So, and then he meets Jill Ireland. Charles Bronson, it's his love interest. He meets her in a diner. She's down on her luck too. I think she said her husband, I think she said he's in jail, and she has no job, no prospects, nothing really, barely making it by. And Bronson, you know, keeps fighting, and you know, James Coburn, awesome actor. I remember he's in, is it Young Guns 1 or 2? He's got a great voice. Great actor, great voice. You just don't see actors like that anymore. Like, I don't know why, but yeah, he's in the Magnificent Seven, the original. That's a great movie. The Great Escape. So, but yeah, he's in one of the Young Guns. He's in Hudson Hawk. Oh man, I forgot that. Young Guns 2. Okay, John Chisholm. I should go and watch those again. Like I like both of those. I know some people don't like 2, but I think it's all right. The cast is so good, but this guy's career goes back to 1957. Um, but yeah, and Charles Bronson, I wouldn't say he's an amazing actor, but he does what he does, and he does it well. He's the strong, silent type, minimal dialogue, but I think he makes it work, and I think he gives an intense performance. You buy him as a fighter; he's definitely in shape for it. Apparently, when he was 53, when he appeared in the movie. That's crazy. I was thinking he was like 45 maybe, but wow. But yeah, he's great. Even some of the fighters he fights, like they're joking before, they're like, "Oh, come on, old man." They're like, and he just totally whoops them, and it's believable too. I mean, he's a lot of the guys are taller than him, but I buy it. Apparently, originally Chaney, who's his character, was supposed to be a much younger man played by Jan Michael Vincent, who's in the original Mechanic. Um, isn't that Charles Bronson? Yeah, that is. Oh, okay, that's like his sidekick in that movie. Huh. That's kind of weird. And that was made like a couple years before this. So I'm glad it's Charles Bronson though, because I mean, I don't even know who that guy is. I've seen the original Mechanic; it's a good movie, but um, Charles Bronson's great. If you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in the West, I think that's the name of it. Yeah, it's a western, spaghetti western. Um, Clint Eastwood was supposed to be in it, but he already did his trilogy, and he didn't want to do a fourth one. It's with the same director as Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But so they went with Charles Bronson for the character, and I think he does a great job. I mean, if you're gonna replace Clint Eastwood with another tough guy, definitely Charles Bronson's a good choice. So, but yeah, it's a simple movie. It's not that long. It's like an hour 40 maybe. Um, just simple, good movie, good direction, well, beautifully shot. I think in widescreen, and looking at the script writers, but seen much of their work. But Walter Hill's on the script. Reminds me of his next movie after this, The Driver, a lot because it's about two different guys that are really good at what they do, and they're in it for the money, and that's it. Um, they're meant a few words, both of them. I mean, Bronson probably says more words than O'Neill in The Driver. Um, but yeah, it's just a fun movie. There's old school gambling going on. James Coburn is definitely like I'd say has a problem with gambling. Has a big problem. The guy just goes through money like no other. And Stother Martin is in it. I've seen him in some other stuff too. Oh yeah, he's in Cool Hand Luke. That's right, he's in Slapshot. That's a funny movie. The Wild Bunch, True Grit. This guy's been in tons of different stuff. Great actor too. He plays a dropout from medical school because he has, let's say, a problem. Um, and he was in medical school for a little bit over 2 years. He's kicked out. Um, the way he puts it is hilarious. He's like, he has this great southern accent, and he's like, what does he say? He's like, unfortunately, a dark cloud came in over the school, and I left with it, or something. Like it's put so well. Um, but yeah, great actor, and basically they give him, I think, 10%. total. So 5% each of their cut, because I think Clyburn and Bronson make 50-50. Maybe Bronson makes 60 and the Clyburn makes 40%. But anyways, he gets 10%, and he's the doctor basically that fixes him up. He doesn't actually do that much because, well, we'll get into spoilers, but yeah, just great old school Southern actor. It's just like another actor. Like all these, like Bronson, James Coburn, I'm saying Clyburn, and Martin. You just don't see actors like this anymore. Like you really don't. I don't know what it is. I think in today's day and age, I think they go for more traditionally good-looking guys, and these are great character actors. And you could say Bronson maybe not a great character actor, but he's an intense actor that is good in like an action type role. And yeah, I mean, maybe you get a little bit of that. John Wick. Keanu Reeves does a pretty good job, I'd say. But these old school character actors, you just don't see them that much anymore. Like that, I mean, in my opinion, there's definitely great actors out there, but anyways, yeah, he plays basically the doctor, and Jill Ireland's really good as his love interest. She's kind of angry because she doesn't like the job he does. She wants him to have a stable job. He kind of just comes and goes when he wants. She doesn't like that, so they have some problems. And I'll get into spoilers now. So spoilers. So she's kind of angry at him. He kind of comes and goes when he wants. And in the end, she leaves because she meets another guy, and she's like, okay, I'm moving somewhere else, and she ends up moving away. He doesn't seem to mind much at all. Bronson's just so great in this because she's like, don't you worry about the fights? Like doesn't this scare you? And he's like, I don't think about it much. I just love that attitude. Like he's just, totally confident, like doesn't think about it much. He knows he's good at what he does. He's basically just beating these guys, multiple guys. Like this guy in the poster, he's like unbeaten. He's the best in New Orleans. And he just totally wipes the floor with them. That guy gets very angry. He works for who's like the town bookie, kind of like a mobster. I think it's Michael McGuire. And they end up bringing in another fighter from out of town to fight Bronson. They try to pay off Bronson so that he'll work for him. Bronson doesn't want to do it. Coburn does, because Coburn, they won a lot of money fighting that bald guy. I think like $9,000, split two ways, pretty much, like 10%, or probably like about 1,000 goes to the doctor. So the rest goes to them too. Charles Bronson's very frugal with his money. He stays at this dingy kind of motel or apartment that costs like little to nothing. Man of few. Doesn't spend his money much at all. He just food, water. He buys some milk. He has a cat. He feeds his cat milk. He spends some money on Jill Ireland, but yeah, very frugal. And James Coburn's the total opposite. He's just totally wastes almost all of his money gambling. He already owes thousands of dollars to, I think, McGuire, or no, to another guy, and so he has a bunch of problems. He has debts all over town. in the end, McGuire kidnaps Coburn, and um, it's basically like, you will fight this new guy. Bronson doesn't want to do it. He's like, I already got plenty of money. He's like, I think I'm done, and he doesn't want to do it. But the doctor guy kind of comes to him, and he's like, he kind of convinces him, so he goes and does it. That fight's a little harder. He does get kind of beat up, but in the end, he wins. And yeah, and then he leaves town, and he gives Coburn some money, and the doctor he gives the doctor like a bunch of money. He's like, here, I have a cat. I'd like you to go take care of it and feed it for me. It's at my apartment. And he's like, this is a lot of money. And he's just like, yep. Just a great old school movie. I really liked it. Good. Walter Hill, great director. Very well made, very well put together. So, Charles Bronson did most of his own stunts. The movie was shot in September 1974 in New Orleans. Directorial debut of Walter Hill, which is it's just amazing. It's so well put together. Walter Hill wrote and directed for scale, even though the truth is I would have paid them for the chance. Right. The film was profitable, and in 2009, Walter Hill said he was still receiving money from it. Yeah, there's probably Blu-rays and, released online. And original cut was around 2 hours long. When it was cut down to around 90 minutes, several fight scenes were deleted. Some stills, however, show some of the deleted fights. Oh, that'd be great to get a director's cut of this, but the footage is probably gone, so it's too bad. So when director Walter Hill wanted to direct his next picture, The Driver, he wanted Charles Bronson to star. Yeah, it makes sense. I could see him. Bronson declined, though, however, due to his feeling that Hill had cut out Bronson's then wife and co-star from Much of Hard Times. Ryan O'Neal was cast instead, and Bronson and Hill never spoke again. Oh, wow. Who was his wife? Was he married to Jill Ireland? Or her second husband? I think so, maybe. Yeah, I think they were married. Yeah, she's a very beautiful woman. Okay, so he's angry but I mean, the movie's about you and fighting, though, I mean, she's in it a good amount. I mean, definitely a side character. So, that's too bad. I mean, I like Ryan O'Neal, but honestly, I think I would have rather had Bronson in that role in The Driver. But yeah, really good movie. Check it out if you're a Walter Hill fan or Bronson fan or James Coburn fan. And that's about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.